Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Friday, May the 20th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined by the one and only Josh Crash Davis. We are here to go over both the MLB Main Slate 12-gamer tonight and the NBA one-game conference finals against Golden State and Dallas. So we decided we've gotten so much good feedback on having these dual baseball, basketball pods. We were going to keep them going. So how are you this morning, Crash? Are you ready to get this rocking and rolling?
I am a little bit of rejuvenated after a day off yesterday. That was nice to have a day off for the first time this Major League Baseball season, I think. So ready to roll, ready to get back into it for sure.
Outstanding. Well, you were definitely missed. I did the baseball solo. We actually had some good picks for our viewers out there. Had some home runs, and we cashed on both slates, early and main. So that was cool. So now we can keep that momentum going as we get through. A couple of things, obviously with the basketball pod in here, I'm trying that. The double reverse jinx with the orange shirt worked against the Suns. So I decided to go with the triple reverse jinx against the Warriors. So I've got the DFS Coach Talk and gold all around there. And so we're pulling out after that horrible first game, we needed to ratchet it up. So I tried to combine two things together. So I think the Mavs can go back out there and give them a game this time.
Yeah. I think it'll be a better game for sure.
It better be, that's for sure. Yeah. All right, my friend. And if you're watching at home, or work, or you're listening, welcome to this awesome Friday. It's going to be a fun weekend. I mean, PGA Championship golf, and those guys are struggling. It is fun watching them scramble around and get after it. Then we've got all this playoff basketball and tons of baseball. So what a fantastic time to be a part of Coach Talk. And you can join us by going to dfscoachtalk.com. You can sign up for as little as a 3-day package. We always toot that horn on the most on Fridays because you get the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all those 3 sports, everything we have to offer, including our PGA Championship weekend only lineups that we'll post tonight. So I want to thank our presenting sponsor, PrizePicks. And Josh will tell you here coming up, they added a new category to PrizePicks, so that's going to be fun. Go to prizepicks.com, use the promo code CoachTalk if you sign up for the first time, and they will match you dollar for dollar all the way up to $100. All right, my man, here we go. If you're joining us for the first time, what has taken you so long? We want to have you with us every day. We do podcasts in front of the paywall in baseball and basketball, or a combo of the two every single day. And what we'll be going over in baseball are our pitcher pay-ups, value plays, and fades, our prize pick selections, BVP stacks, and HR calls. So enough to give you a good wraparound look at how is this all going to come together and start building some lineups to take some stuff down. So let's start off where we always do with our pay-up pitcher, which is pretty much, in my opinion, the most important thing on the slate. You got to get big numbers from your pay-up pitcher.
Yep. So for my pay-up pitcher, I'm looking at Nestor Cortez. He's 10-2 on FanDuel, 10-6 on Draftkings. He had his best start of the year 2 games ago against the Rangers, and then he followed that up with another really good start against these same White Sox in Chicago last Sunday. He had 8 innings pitched, struck out 7, and only allowed 1 run for 52 fantasy points. So righties are hitting a 175 against him, and lefties are only hitting 100. So I really like the numbers there. Very favorable for him with that righty-heavy, lineup that the White Sox have. And Chicago has struck out at the lowest rate this year, but as I mentioned, he did strike them out 7 times last week. So I do like him. Also could consider Eric Lauer against Washington, but I definitely prefer either Cortez or Lauer over somebody like Sean Manaea against the Giants in San Francisco, Tariq Skubal in Cleveland, or Robbie Ray in Boston. So either Lauer or Cortez for me at the top.
Well, you can stick with Cortez because I'm going with Lauer.
Okay.
I think he's the safest play. He's the highest strikeout guy on the slate. His last outing was his worst of the season so far, but it wasn't that bad. So listen to his FanDuel scores the last 5 or 6. 24, which was the subpar one, 50, 61, 61, 40. I mean,
yeah,
that's what you want from your ace. And then he had 7 strikeouts against Miami, 8 before that, 11, 13 before that. And that was against the Phillies where he struck out 13. So I think he's the guy. And again, I'm all about, let's take the guy that's going to go deeper in the game. And last game he only pitched 5, but before that 6 1/3, 7, 6, 6, 6 1/3. So it seems like we're getting so many pitchers going 4 or 5 innings tops. So I think he can go deeper. I like his strikeout upside. I just think that he's all around your not just safest play, but a play that you can get the big number for that you need really to take stuff down. Yeah. Washington's not that good. They have a lot of outs, especially at the bottom of that order. They're not the biggest strikeout team, but they strike out enough, and Lauer has a tendency to find those. So I feel pretty darn good about him. His stats are great. He's 3-1. His WHIP is under 1 still. 2.6 ERA with 49 Ks, and he did give up a few runs the last game. It was even better. So feeling real good. He's going to probably be my SP1 across the board.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny hearing you say Eric Lauer is an ace, because when he first got traded to Milwaukee, a lot of people didn't even want him there. So
I know it.
Yeah.
He's really developed him.
Yeah, he's definitely turned it around. So for value pitcher, I'm looking at Chase Silseth. It's hard to say that name.
That's right.
6,400 on FanDuel, 7,800 on DraftKings. He's going to be starting against the same Oakland team that he faced on May 13th when he pitched 6 shutout innings, struck out 4 for 40 fantasy points. That was in Oakland. Oakland has the 9th highest strikeout rate, and they've been really struggling to score. They've scored the 4th fewest runs per game and the 4th total runs per, overall. And so I like the matchup here for Silseth, and I think that he's a great value play, especially at 6,400 on FanDuel.
Well, I love that name, and I'll tell you, you won't remember this because I was a kid growing up. We watched a cartoon called Land of the Lost, and they had these monsters, and they were called Sleesacks, and they were terrifying. And so I remember the Sleesack. So for any of our old listeners like me, the old Land of the Lost cartoon, the Sleesacks, that's what I think of when I hear his name. But yeah, I do like him too. I think he's got a nice future in the league. I'm going to go, because I feel like I'm going to get my big strikeouts with my big man Lauer. I'm going to go, and it's, I think a lot of people are going to have him as the fade guy. You may even, but I like Paul Blackburn. I just think, he's pitching well. I know he's, choppy as far as strikeouts and, getting it done, but maybe living on borrowed time. But you know what? He's faced this Angels team before, pitched 6 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run. He only struck out 3, but that's fine. Quality starts. And in his last several starts, FanDuel points 30, 39, 19, 33, 30, 18, 42. So just give me 25, 27 to go along with a big, 55, 60 from Lauer, and I'm going to feel great. Yeah. And, I know he's, definitely suspect for regression. No doubt about it. But he's 4-0 with a 1.67 ERA, a whip of 0.9. And, he's never going to strike a ton of guys out, and the Angels are dangerous. Yeah. But they've been dinged up a lot. And I think, again, as an SP2 at 8,500, I think it's a very fair price for a guy that, could have a good enough game to get you to where you need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my fade pitcher is actually going to be Sean Manaea. He's 9,900 on FanDuel, 10-2 on DraftKings. I don't know how much ownership he's going to get, but he usually gets a decent amount of ownership. And he is going up against the Giants, which I know one thing that a lot of people like to do is they like to play teams after they leave Coors.
Right.
So, going to a much more pitcher-friendly environment in San Francisco, I think that, he could get some ownership. But San Francisco has been the second best offense. They scored the second most runs per game. They have the 10th lowest strikeout rate. And Yastrzemski, Flores, Crawford, Longoria, they have all had a pretty good amount of success against Manaea. So he's going to be my fade today.
Yeah, it's interesting. And he'll get ownership. I think my guy's going to get a ton of ownership that I'm fading. I'm fading Christian Javier. I know he's, a lot of people are going to dive on him. His record, it's Houston against Texas. They played him in the past. Houston's on a hot streak. But he got absolutely obliterated last time by Washington. 3 2/3 inning, 8 hits, 7 earned. And, I think maybe a little bit of carryover from that. Plus the thing that I like least about Christian Javier, and the reason I faded him last time as well, he doesn't go deep at all in games. Listen to these last several games: 3 2/3, 3, 5 1/3, 5, 3 2/3, 3, 1 2/3. So, you have a guy that hasn't even scratched getting 6, 7 innings in.
Yeah.
And, his price isn't exactly a giveaway price. And I think he's going to garner some ownership. So Javier will be my fade pitcher today.
All right.
Let's jump over to PrizePicks.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my PrizePicks selections ready. I'll lead off for you for a change. And since I'm on that, I just got done saying it. I'm going to go Christian Javier under 5 strikeouts.
All right.
Maybe he gets 3 or 4 in his 3 or 4 innings, and I'll be fine with that. Texas strikes out, but not as heavy as you think. They're a little bit below middle of the pack. So I'm thinking he pitches 4 innings, maybe 3, 4 strikeouts, and we're good to go.
I'm going to go with Nestor Cortes over 33.5 fantasy score. He had 52 against the White Sox in the last start Sunday, 59 against the Rangers in the game before that. And I think that he's going to get, I'm projecting 40 to 43. So I like the over here at 33.5.
I like it. And this one's, I thought was easy, and I don't even have to give big explanations here. I'll save us all the time of day here. But it's Bo Bichette against the Reds, who stink.
Mm-hmm.
And it's over a half of projected run and RBIs.
Okay.
So all he has to do is score a run or get an RBI in that catbird seat against Cincinnati, and it's Bo Bichette. I mean, I feel pretty darn comfortable. I love these little, half things where you can get, 0.5 because you can grab it so fast, or even if he's off to a slow start, you got a shot all the way down to the end. So it just, Bichette against the Reds, I'll take that all day long for a half of ribby or run.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with the new prop that we teased earlier.
Yes.
I'm going to take the Brewers. It's Yelich, Tellez, and Hunter Renfroe over 0.5 home runs. So all they have to do is one of those guys has to hit a home run.
Yeah, so. And that's the new thing they're offering. So they're bunching 3 guys together, and you're over under a half a home run for those 3. I think it's a really cool one. No doubt about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not, I know if you don't play props a lot, you probably think, oh, that's so easy or whatever. It's really not.
No.
But I do think that one of those 3 can hit a home run tonight.
And I think what I'll do, not on this one, I like your play there, but on a lot of these that come up, I'm going to take the unders because, guys don't hit that many homers. I mean, you have a 30 homer year, you've done well, and look how many games it takes, to get that. So,
yeah. I think finding the ones that have the least favorable matchups and taking the unders is a really smart move. It
is, and I think that take advantage of that while you can, because if they start getting burned on that, they'll take that back down.
Right. Right.
No doubt about it. All right, sir. BVP, something that we really like here. Other people don't like it. We think it's important. I believe that it's important, and we're sticking with it. So we're going to give our BVP every day. If you don't like it, you can, put it in the circular file. But I think BVP matters. We both do. And what do you got today for yours?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because one of the reasons that I didn't play Trevor Story last night was because I didn't have the BVP, there, obviously with him facing George Kirby.
Yeah.
But I kind of like Trevor Story. And so now I'm kicking myself as he hit 3 home runs, but it happens. My BVP play is going to be Giancarlo Stanton.
I hate your guts, man.
37.
I'm going to say it anyway. He's 6 for 11, batting .545 with 2 homers, 5 RBIs, 3 extra base hits.
Yeah, exactly. But it was going to be Eduardo Escobar. So, but I had to change it because of this snow in the forecast. So.
Yeah. By the way, with the 12-game main slate, as far as I'm concerned right now, I am not taking anybody from that Colorado game.
Yeah.
Everything I've read everywhere says it's going to be a wash and postpone early. So
right.
The other 11 games should be fine. But that one, is definitely suspect. But that's funny. So we both take our, as we call him here for old schoolers, Mike Stanton.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's against Dallas Keuchel, who we know has been struggling so much. And, again, small sample size. We know you don't have to yell at your screen. But, when you have a slugging of 1.182 against somebody, an OPS of 1.720, and it's a guy that's in a groove right now. I agree with you, man. I thought Stanton was a standout pick.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Awesome.
Too.
Awesome. Stacks.
All right. So
the second most important thing to pitching.
Obviously, with the Giancarlo Stanton play, you like the Yankees against Dallas Keuchel. They didn't do what we thought they would last time they matched up. This time they're at Yankee Stadium. I think that they get him pretty good. We got the Phillies against Urias again, so I like that matchup. And I'm a little bit different than you on Paul Blackburn. I think the Angels are going to be a strong stack.
I knew you were going to go against Blackburn today. I knew it.
Yeah. And I think the Brewers are in a good spot against Eric Fetty. So
I like it. Obviously the Yankees, I mean, let's face it, it is what it is, especially if we get this rain out, in Colorado. Yankees are going to be very highly owned, but they deserve to be. It did sting us in the backside when we went against Keuchel last time with the Yankees. But again, I think they get to him. They've seen him again, and they've got guys that really smack them. They've got some people in the order that hit them hard. So, Gleyber Torres as well, Kiner Falefa, with Stanton, as we mentioned. They're just, I think that they really bunch up on them. And, especially if you can buy down for an SP2, I think you can afford some of these Yankees. The other stack that I like is Boston against Robbie Ray in Seattle. I don't like Robbie Ray. I think, like I said before, I'm not in his corner. I think he's washed, and he did pitch well last time I said that. So take that, with a grain of salt. But I think Boston hits him, and, a lot of their guys, including the guy that I almost picked, Trevor Story. He owns Robbie Ray, man.
Gosh. Yeah.
8 for 27 against him with 3 extra base hits. They happen to all be homers, and he's walked 10 times. So, Story could continue this onslaught. Bogarts hits him well. They just have up and down, even guys off the bench hit him. So I think Boston and the Yankees are both good stacks today.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Yep. Home run call, sir.
I'm going to go back to the Brewers. I'm going to go with Rowdy Tellez. He's 240 against right-handed pitchers. 7 of his 8 home runs have come against right-handed pitchers. And I don't know the exact number, but I know most of them have come at AmFam Field. So,
okay. I like it. You're going to laugh, and you know me, when somebody has a good game, I generally always fade them because I think the chasers go after people, and it's such a rookie mistake that a lot of people do. But this is just too solid for me. I'm going right back to Trevor Story. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, he's seeing the ball fantastic, and he owns Robbie Ray. He can homer again. I'm not saying he's going to hit 3. Right. But even if he goes deep once, that's the HR call. I'll take it. And so very unusual, to pick a guy after he just hit 3 homers. But I think this is a better pitching matchup than last night's was.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think so too. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
sort
that.
Of a crazy.
No, I do like that actually.
All right. We'll see if we can keep it going there.
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. This is the spot where we'll put the timestamp in there. So if you want to go from baseball to basketball, this is where you can switch it over. But certainly, again, want to thank on our MLB side, our sponsorship from PrizePicks. If you go to prizepicks.com, use that promo code Coach Talk, sign up first time. They'll match you dollar for dollar, all the way up to $100. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, this is a perfect time in the transition. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe sign, and while you're at it, hit the little alarm in the upper corner so you know when any of our podcasts post. We're posting in front of the paywall basketball, baseball every day, and golf once a week. And, we really appreciate those thumbs up on YouTube. Give us a comment too. We'd love to hear feedback, continued feedback on these combo slates of basketball and baseball. If you're listening on any of our audio podcast landing spots, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, wherever it happens to be, give us a quick 5-star rating and a little comment. Our man Colin will pull out the randomizer at the end of the month, which is only 11 days away now, and somebody will win a free full access week of Coach Talk. All right, sir, we are ready to transition into the NBA. Of course, we have the Dallas Mavericks at the Golden State Warriors. Huge game, very exciting second game of the series. Forget about that first game. It was a beatdown. We get it. Now it's time to show up, nerves gone, and just get out there and play. Yeah. So as we head into breaking this one-game showdown slate for the NBA tonight, I'd like to thank our presenting sponsor for the NBA show today, and that's BetUS.com.pa. Perfect place to go for any offshore playing. I know Canada has different rules. I'm not sure which countries you can do this in, but I know you can in the States. I've been a member at BetUS for 16 years. Great odds, great payouts. Just go to betus.com.pa. If you sign up for the first time and deposit just $79, at least a minimum of $79, you will get a free month of Coach Talk. You have to use the promo code Coach Talk, but you get the free month, which is a $75 value in itself. So you cannot beat it. So definitely jump on there. I know some of our horse players, the Preakness is this weekend, all kinds of different things, and you can play all of that on BetUS. All right, let's look at the line for this game. What is Vegas saying? Dallas at Golden State. Golden State favored by 6. That's about what I figured. And it's a 214 total. 104 implied for Dallas, 110 implied for the Golden State Warriors. As far as any injuries go, it's nothing that we didn't know. Tim Hardaway remains out, and Peyton remains out. The only question mark is Iguodala. He's listed as questionable. Even if he comes back, I would say it'd be a very, very minimum role, as he's been out for quite some time. But he may sit another game. We will see what takes place there. All right, let's dive into this. I'm going to turn it over to you. Let's give your feedback a little bit on Dallas and what the heck went wrong in game 1.
Yeah, that was a
disaster.
Yeah, it really was. For one thing that stood out to me was Luka. Luka had 7 turnovers in that
Yep.
game.
Yeah.
So that's definitely going to be a key, is he's going to have to protect the ball better than that.
Right.
It was Wiggins that was primarily defending him. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
They moved some guys around, but Wiggins had the assignment. And then, but they were still just having, Looney's guy pick him and trying to get him in a one-on-one situation. The bottom line, I don't want to start rambling. Go ahead, finish your thoughts, and then I'll give you my 2 cents.
Yeah. So he had, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, steal, and then the 7 turnovers for only 34.8 DraftKings points. It's nowhere near what we need from him. He's the highest priced player on the slate. So what adjustments do you think they'll make in game 2 that we can, expect a much better performance from him?
I don't think Kid, what I was going to say before too, I don't think Kid has to adjust that much. The bottom line to me was this: Dallas came out nervous, tight, and a little bit overwhelmed. I think they're saying, okay, we're playing against this dynasty team of the decade in the Warriors. We're actually in the conference finals, which is amazing. No one expected them to be there. Right. And I think they came out wide-eyed and just were scared. I counted 7 missed wide open shots, nobody within 4 to 5 feet of people in the first quarter. Threes, all threes. Luka, Bullock, Brunson, Finney Smith. I mean, it was incredible. That's all just tight and nerves, and it feeds off each other. When 1 or 2 guys miss, it tightens up the other guy. So I don't think it was a disaster in the aspect of, okay, this totally didn't work. We got to change these assignments. They just need to make shots. Yeah. I mean, you can't shoot 31 for 86, 36% from the field, and 11 for 48 from 3, 22%. You're not going to beat anybody that way. So for me,
you could beat Milwaukee that way.
What's that?
You could beat Milwaukee that way.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I think Dallas just has to play their game. I think they do the same thing they do. Have Looney's guy, whether it's Powell or Kleba, set that pick, get, Luka one-on-one with the big, which will be Looney in this case. He just will step back and hit the 3, or he'll drive in and draw a foul, or if somebody comes to double him on the drive, he kicks to the guy, and they just have to make the 3s. That's all there is to it. So, for me, it's not a big adjustment game for Kid. It's like, okay, guys, we had the perfect game plan. We were nervous. That game's over. All you want to do on the road in the first 2 is split anyway. Yeah. Let's just get the 1, get back to Dallas 1-1. So, my breakdown of the Mavericks is almost the same as it was in game 1. I think, Luka's the key. He is extremely expensive. I think he'll play way better this game. I think the big minutes guys that are cheaper, you can still count on, like Bullock, Finney Smith. Kleba is very cheap. He got in foul trouble again. Yeah. Dinwiddie still cheap enough and looked good in the time he was out there. He at least made a few shots. Yeah. So I think you're in the same boat. I would completely fade, Powell and Bertans and Lakine. I wouldn't play any of those bench guys, but I think you can start your lineup with Luka, and I think you can fill in a couple of Mavs, 1 or 2 Mavs with that are value, that are going to get big minutes, because they lost 5 to 8 minutes at the end. Or Bullock, Finney Smith, Luka, and Brunson would have all played close to 40 minutes. So I think you're safe in that aspect. So who are you looking to roster from Dallas?
Well, it's kind of an either or for me. I think I'm either going to play Brunson or Dinwiddie, but I don't know if I'm going to play them both. Dinwiddie was the better of the 2 in game 1. So,
right.
But I mean, we have such a weird, tainted sample size to look at with it being a blowout. So
right.
I don't draw a whole lot off of that. But I think for the savings, I think I would go with Dinwiddie. And then I think Finney Smith should have a nice bounce back game. He really struggled in game 1. So I like Finney Smith. So Finney Smith, Dinwiddie, and Luka for me would be the key plays. Powell and Cleva both were just terrible in game 1.
Horrible. Well, Powell's not good, but
yeah,
Cleva at least has to contribute. And he just, those fouls got him all jacked up early.
Mm-hmm. And I think Bullock, when they go back to Dallas, I don't think I'm going to play him when they're in Golden State.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, they're going to leave him open for some shots, though. I mean, he just has to knock him down. His shot is so flat that it's like you wouldn't think he was a really good three-point shooter because there's no room for error. Like you'll see a lot of his shots hit the back iron and then the front iron and pop out because he just shoots the ball so flat. But when he's on, they just swish through. They don't hit the rim at all. So, I mean, it's just a matter of, do you trust the streak shooter? He did get 10 threes up the last game.
Right.
Problem is he only made 3 of them, but he is going to let the ball fly. To answer your other question, I think you can play. There are a couple of strategies you can use with Dallas. I'm going to either play Luka with Brunson or Luka with Dinwiddie. Or if you fade Luka and you want to load up everywhere else, I feel personally you can definitely play Brunson and Dinwiddie together. And the reason I say that is they're not interchangeable in their position. Generally, Dinwiddie is going to play when Luka sits, and then in stretches where Golden State goes small and takes Looney off the floor and moves Draymond to center, they'll go with the 3 guards, Dinwiddie, Luka, and Brunson, because they can get away with it. So I expect to see a lot more small ball from both sides here. I was on Looney and, Kleba and stuff last time. Not as sure I'm going to go that way this time because I think they're going to want to get out and run because both teams want to play their scores. I mean, Poole comes off the bench, but they love to play Poole, with the 2 Splash Brothers. I mean, it's going to be a shootout and you've got to make shots. And, if you look at this statistically, Golden State shoots 56.1% from the field. So 20 points better. Wow. And they shoot 34.5%, which is almost 12 points higher from 3. So you can't overcome that. It's strictly, you got to put the ball in the hoop. So I'm thinking it's a close game. The 6-point spread, I think, is fair.
Yeah.
It was only 4 in the first game, which surprised me. But I think this one's a little bit tighter. I think the Mavs can either sneak one out or at least hang in there, but they're not going to be, goo-goo-eyed thinking, oh my God, we're in the conference finals. I think you're going to see them show up and they're going to be a little ticked off too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Kitt'll make some adjustments. I mean, I've been pretty impressed with his coaching, so I think he will. I think he'll make a couple adjustments for their lineup. I mean, not to their lineup, but the way they play.
Yeah, just put the ball in the damn hoop. It makes it pretty simple as coaching.
That would help.
Yeah. All right, Golden State. What's your feel there? I'll say this much and then I'll turn it over to you. What a great shot split they had. 17 shot attempts from Wiggins, 16 from Curry, 13 from Thompson, 12 from Poole, and even the secondary guys. Porter got 7, Green got 6, Looney got 5. I mean, they played a really good game. They really did.
They really did. I think that, Steph is probably going to be the top play on the slate for me just because he's cheaper than Luka. He had a better game than Luka in game 1, which I know that it was, not that competitive of a game, but he had 47.5 DraftKings points. He had 12 rebounds. That really surprised me. I don't know where that came from.
Talk about an aberration.
Yeah. But, so I do like Steph here. Obviously, he's going to have closer to 40 minutes. He had 31 in game 1. So get more minutes, more production there. But the main thing is, like I said, he's 1,000 cheaper on FanDuel. He's $3,000 cheaper on DraftKings in the captain spot. So
right.
I
That's
like
a
the
lot.
savings there. Yeah. And then Clay had a so-so game, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists for 30 DraftKings points. Going to need to see more from him if I'm going to go to him consistently, I think. Draymond, had another strong game, 10 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, a block, and 2 steals, 31 DraftKings points in 29 minutes. So solid there. And then Wiggins. So I still like Wiggins, and I think Wiggins, Steph, and Draymond are my top 3 from Golden State. I think, like you said, Looney, kind of want to go away from him in this game. Poole, I don't know how much of a factor he's going to be coming off the bench. We'll have to see there. So it would be Steph, Draymond, and Wiggins for me.
Yeah, this is going to be a little contrarian here. And again, it's not the Mavericks fandom speaking here at all, because I've said all along, I expect Golden State, to be really strong in this series and, some great plays. But, I go back to what I started from. Dallas's perimeter defense has been the best in the league in the second half of the season, not the overall defense, because their interior struggles, but there's still been a top 5 defense. But no one has defended the 3-point line better than the Mavericks. So, I'm not going to load up on the Splash Brothers again, and specifically Curry. And here's my reason why. I know Curry's going to be solid, but he still is the second most expensive. And, he's 12 rebounds. I will take off my hat, my shirt. I'll take everything off if Curry gets over 10 rebounds again in this game. I'll tell you right now. Now, that would shut down coach talk, but I'm just saying there's no way Curry is getting 12 rebounds again.
Yeah.
That was so flukish. Anyway, I think I'm going to probably fade Curry where I can, or, on where you can play the 2-team slate, games where you play today's and tomorrow's for sure. But, not going to put him in any captain spots or anything like that. I think he's going to be very highly owned, very highly put in that captain spot. And here's the thing. A lot of reasons for this. Number one, I think they can defend him better. They lost a lot. They bricked a bunch of threes, which allowed Golden State to get out and transition. And that's when 3-point shooters kill you, it's when you're out in transition, because you can't pick up all the trailers.
Yeah.
And, and that's what Golden State runs. That's what I used to run when I coached, is you push the ball down the floor and then you look for the 3-point shooter spotting up. And that's where you get open threes, because Curry's not going to get a ton of open threes in a half court defensive set, but in a transition set, you can't really stop it. So I think that will decrease. And I also know that Curry knows Clay so well, and Warriors can't win if Clay's not playing good ball consistently. Clay was trying to force a few there off balance at the end. He needs to get his shots. He's one of those guys that is a field player. 13 shots isn't enough for him. He needs 15 to 20 minimum. And I think those come away from Curry and Poole. Curry and Poole had 28 shots combined. I think they're going to have more like 22. And I think those extra shots are going to go to Clay. And I think Curry knows he's not, he has nothing to prove. He's not a selfish player. He's going to get the ball to Clay with that extra pass. So I like Clay better here. I think he gets, I didn't like him in game 1 because I felt, they defend him differently. But now I think, with the slate adjustments, and they'll probably adjust to getting him in the flow. So I'm going to go Clay over Curry. Poole, he can be explosive, but I'm always afraid I'm going to lose 7, 8, 10 minutes with him because he's coming off the bench. And they're not, they did play Looney 28 minutes. He played the same amount of time as Draymond did. And, although Draymond had 4 fouls and only 2 minutes less than Curry, and granted it was a blowout, but in those general rotations, they were pretty committed to Looney being in there. So I think that hurts Poole's time a little bit. So I'm not going to go there, but I may stay with Looney. I talked about earlier in the show, is that going, 5 for 5, not sustainable, all of that. But Dallas interior defense is terrible. So
Yeah.
Looney and Green are still in play for me. Maybe Draymond over Looney, we'll see. But the price difference is a lot. But, Green did have 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block. So,
Right.
4 for 6 from the field. And I had mentioned just get 10 shots up, Draymond. Find a way to get 10 shots up. But I think Green and Looney have to be considered here just because of that interior. And because Golden State shot the ball so well, 56% from the field, they're even going to get out harder on some of these 3-point shooters.
Yeah.
So I think, you have to look at those 2 guys for sure. But the big talk and decision here will be Andrew Wiggins. Now, I played Wiggins across the board last time because I thought he would be the odd guy that Dallas was going to have a little bit of difficulty defending. And that's where, and it was true. I mean, he did get up 17 shots, 19 real points, and he contributed. But I think, he has a tendency to regress a little bit and just run up and down the floor at times.
Right.
I think that's the adjustment Kid will make, is to get a little bit tougher on Wiggins, maybe switch it up, Brunson on him, somebody that's going to body him a little bit, even though Brunson's shorter, just enough to make him uncomfortable. So I think Wiggins may regress, and I think he's going to get a ton of ownership because everybody's going to say he played the most minutes, 35, he got up the most shots. I think that's the overreaction there. So I still, on Golden State, the guys I'm looking at mainly are Clay and then a little bit of Looney and Green, and then go from there. Because if you're going to roster Luka, you got to face the facts, especially if you put him at captain. You got to get a little slim other places salary-wise.
Yeah, you do. I agree.
And my last guy I'll mention that I think is in play here and may make my last guy in is Otto Porter Jr. He is the kind of guy that gives the Mavericks trouble. The big wing, small forwardish guy that can shoot the threes. He only got 7 shots up, but he was 5 for 7, and he grabbed 6 rebounds. And he played a good solid 23 minutes. That's another reason I'm a little concerned at times with Looney and Poole, even though I sort of like Looney a little, because Porter, I think, is going to squeeze a few of those minutes in there as well. Now, he didn't just play extra minutes because Draymond grabbed a little foul trouble. Porter was firmly in that rotation, and I think he gets at least 25 to 27 minutes in this game. And at his price, that makes him very possibly a play.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's all the wind I've got, man. That is it. So your lock play is Moses Moody then, I take it?
Yeah, even though he's not even on the board.
No. Okay. All right, so that wraps it up pretty much. Anything else basketball-wise that we want to throw in there?
We got to do our PrizePicks plays.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I'll give you my first one, and everybody can throw stuff at their computer, but make sure it's soft, that it doesn't hurt the computer or your phone. You can throw it down on the bed or pillow or couch or get mad. But I'm taking Steph Curry under 26.5 real points. I'm not saying Curry's going to get shut down. He's the greatest shooter ever. If he has 22, 24 points, that's fine. 26.5 real points is a lot against the best perimeter defensive team in the NBA.
Yeah, I agree. For me, I'm going to go with Klay Thompson over 1.5 turnovers. He's gone over that number in all 5 of the last 5 games, averaging 2.8.
Did you look at our posting in PrizePicks this morning?
No, I didn't actually. I promise.
My second play is Klay Thompson over 1.5 turnovers. How is that possible? There's 1,000 different things you could pick.
Yeah, the same PrizePicks play and the same BVP play.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. All right. So
yeah, don't you think 1.5 turnovers as much as Klay handles the ball?
Yeah.
And if they close out on him when he's trying to get a 3 and he's kicking the ball, that's dangerous pass.
Right.
So
I agree.
I'm with you, man.
So for my other play though, I'm going to go with. Well, no, it's your turn. It's your turn now. So
Dorian Finney-Smith in a bounce back game over a small number, 17.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
okay.
I expect him to hit some threes. He's a rebounder. You know, when they double him, he kicks it. You're going to fall into some assists there. So I think the fact that he could play 40 minutes, 17.5 PRA is pretty low.
Yeah, no, I agree. Spencer Dinwiddie over 12.5 points. He had 17 in game 1, 30 in game 7, and 15 in game 6 against Phoenix, averaging just under 15 points a game in his last 5 games. So I like the over at 12.5. I think that number is a little low for him.
I agree. I like the play as well. He's definitely been a go-to guy. And like you say, you know, you're going to get a lot of minutes if they go that small ball route, which could definitely happen. So
I agree.
Outstanding.
I've got one more play, I think, right?
Okay. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm done. I'm good.
Okay. I'm going to take Andrew Wiggins over 16.5 points.
Oh, I'll challenge. I'll double down challenge you on that one. You want a hat challenge?
I'm good on that.
Oh, you're gutless. Gutless. I think Wiggins scores like 12 in this game.
Okay.
So anywhere you can.
Okay.
I'll tilt my hat like this. Huh?
Here's the deal. If Wiggins scores 13 or less, I'll go hatless on the next podcast.
Okay. And I'll tell you what, since you're doing that, I'll go the other route. If he scores over 20, I'll go hatless.
Okay.
So we got the big spread in the middle.
All right.
It's up to you, Mr. Wiggins. It's time for you to do one of your no-shows, buddy.
So he has to score 20 or more for you to go
hatless, and 13 or less for you to go hatless. That's fair. It's in the middle. Yeah. Fair enough.
All
right, my man. Great stuff. A lot of baseball, a lot of basketball. If you want to get a good laugh, watch some of that golf. Guys shooting like 80 and stuff. It's hilarious.
So is that PrizePicks Play a trap then? Did you see that one with Tiger Woods? They had Tiger Woods birdies or better at 1.5 or at 2.5, and then they discounted it to 1.5. You think he can get that?
I mean, there's like 2 or 3 holes that are very birdieable, but there's a bushel of holes that are like double bogey holes. I mean, they're playing 645 into the wind.
Oh man.
Yeah, and then they have a par 4 540 into the wind. So, you know, good luck with those. But I don't know. I mean, 2.5, I would take it under Tiger for sure. 1.5, that's scary, you know. It's a little scary because there are a few birdie holes where the wind's behind you, but you got to figure out all the clubs and everything. But I'm going to watch a lot of that this afternoon because we're not playing any afternoon baseball. So I'm going to scout it. And then if you want those picks, I'll have a core build for the weekend only PGA Championship that we'll post this evening. And I'll have the core build for DraftKings, full lineups for FanDuel and Yahoo. All right, my man. Anything else?
No, I think we covered it well today, Coach.
All right. We got it in under an hour like we wanted to. That is cool. And I want to thank both of our sponsors, PrizePicks and BetUS. And again, if you want to open that account for BetUS, go to betus.com.pa, sign up with the promo code CoachTalk. Deposit a minimum of $79 for your first deposit while using that promo code Coach Talk, and you get a free month of DFS Coach Talk, which $75 value, and you get to get all of the wonderful picks from Mr. Crash here, Deb, Mike, and myself, and then all the expertise from all our other people here at Coach Talk. Brett jumps in there, and Colin, and we've got the best team in the business. So, and we've got some good things coming and some more announcements. We've got a big contest coming for the NBA Finals, all kinds of fun stuff. So stay tuned. And again, on the way out, please hit that thumbs up on YouTube. We really appreciate that. All right, final words, sir.
That's it. I'm ready. I'm done.
You're ready to go. All right,
Yeah.
let's get your Milwaukee Brewers pitcher in for me, sir. I would appreciate it.
Yeah. Hopefully,
all right.
Good night.
Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your Friday. It's going to be a great weekend here. Let's absolutely crush it in NBA, MLB, and PGA, DFS, and PrizePicks.